Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Craven.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins, led by firefighters.
Play aggressive.
It's a new day, new dawn, no longer the laughing stock. It's time to take. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo. It is Let's Talk Football. And yes, it's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, Throwback Thursday. So you know we had to bring it back, bring it way back. I'm here with my guys. You see this guy right here dealing with 75, I believe, 75 and golf type weather in South Carolina. South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on? You're right. 75 degrees. Although we were a little cold today, but we're getting back there on Saturday. It's going to be real nice. And the weather needs to stay here. We don't need to be wearing coats anymore.
Right. What's coming back? What do you mean, like 60, late, like high 60s? Are you down to 50s?
What, today? Oh, yeah. It was in like mid 50s, like 55.
Ooh, okay.
I had to bring the vest out again. Yeah.
This guy. So I moved away from that. Look, and then you see who it is. My guy down here, the shirtless wonder himself, Mr. Ab Low. What up, Ab?
What's going on? I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you for having me. I love joining in with you guys, especially when we talk about football and our team, y'all.
Come on. Our team that seems to be a destination, a place where people want to come. Oh my goodness. Are we Disney World, man? That everybody want to come here. Now, I love that. That's a good thing. Oh man, but look, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys being here with us. If you haven't seen us, Washington Football Weekly, even though it's the off season, we still got to talk this talk. In fact, this is the time of the year that we absolutely love, whether we do good in the regular season or not. Post the off season, that's our time of the year. Look, we got so many things to talk about, and we wanted to get it all in. So we're bringing up a new topic. As you know, it is March, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you that are maybe not football fans, but like elsewhere, March Madness is right around the corner. Got my Tar Heel stuff in. Will we make it? I don't know. But listen, we got a new segment in here, and it's called Buzzer Beater, where we got several topics, several things we gotta ask, several questions we want to ask, and we want to hit it real quickly. So we each get a minute to answer the question, see how we feel, throw it out to you guys, see how you guys feel. Join us, see how it is. Let's see how it goes. Buzzer Beater is here, and we are going to start off with the most recent move. Washington gets Deebo Samuels. How does this trade for Deebo impact free agency wide receiver signings? Will, I'm going to bring it to you. You are on the clock.
Okay. It impacts it a lot. I think this changes how much we can spend on free agents. I don't think obviously T. Higgins is not available, but some of the guys I was looking at, like, oh, what about an Amari Cooper? What about a Stephon Diggs? I think we are out of that now because we're paying him, $17, $18 million to be our second wide receiver at this point. So I think we're still going to sign some free agent wide receivers, but I believe we're going to be spending a whole lot less money on that position next week, including this probably prices us out of De'Ami Brown coming back, in my opinion.
Mm.
So, yeah, I do think it has big impact.
Okay. I like that. Ab, what you think, man?
De'Ami who?
Yeah.
De'Ami who? I wouldn't even worry about that boy. No way, y'all. Right. I don't even care. I don't care. That boy was gone to me after we lost to Philly. I was through with that boy for real.
Listen.
So
yeah,
I wasn't even worried about him. But no, it changes free agency, absolutely, especially the wide receiver. I think it changes free agency in general, especially with the cap number that comes along with Debo. Depending on who you ask, depending on the source, it's 17 to 21 million straight from this year. Okay, so that is a big deal. That is, again, depending on the source, that is a quarter of our cap that we were flexing with. So does it affect wide receiver and free agency? Yes, but it also affects free agency, period.
Oh yeah. And look, I mean, I'm not gonna repeat what you guys said, but I mean, it absolutely does. It affects some of the guys that we're looking at in the later segment. Talk about, do we resign them? Do we bring them back? Well, when you have a guy like Debo, he does so many things that you don't need a lot of these little small pieces that were helping out in years past. And then, like you said, De'Ami, even though I don't think he needs to raise up in price, but apparently he thinks he needs. I don't know. Some people were talking this craziness that he was doing elite in the postseason. But listen, we're not talking about that. But he wants to get paid, and he's from North Carolina. Some people can be wrong. It is what it is. Look, I mean, for me, I think a lot of those guys that we're looking at that we're on the fence on. Do we want to bring him back? Do we want to let him go? You could distance yourself from them, and you don't have to necessarily keep them in-house because of this move. And I'm excited to see it. Maybe then we can even look into the draft and see what's going on in the draft. All right. Next on the list, as we know, the Chargers released Joey Bosa. Is it Joey or Nick? Should have known that.
I think it's Joey.
I think it's
Joey. Yeah, Joey Bosa. Adam, I'm going to come to you first. All right, cool. Great. Adam, I'm going to come to you first. Do you have interest in picking him up?
Honestly, I do. Especially if it takes us out of trading for Hendrickson or Garrett. I believe in draft picks, and if we trade for either of these other two gentlemen, one is going to hit our assets pretty damn hard, and then two, in order for it not to affect us as severely as like Deebo Samuel's contract, we're going to have to extend them after that too. So to me, but Joey Bosa, we could sign him 2 years, a year, and it not affect our cap space as much as a Myles Garrett or a Trey Hendrickson. So to me, I am interested in this way so that we are able to freak the draft like I know Adam Peters wants to.
I believe it. Will, what you think, man?
I'm not interested anymore. I was really excited about him at first as a big name. And then I kind of started looking at his stats, and he's been hurt a lot in the last 3 years. Now, he did finally come back this past year, and he played in 14 games. So he finally actually played almost a full season after being out the last 2, but he got hurt. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they're not too sure what his injury was, his back injury, and how it's been treated or what's coming next. So I don't think I want anything to do with that. And honestly, I think the team that's going to take the flyer on him, and this part makes sense to me, he's made all this money. Why don't you just go play with your brother for a year? have fun.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I was excited at first, especially over his name, but I started looking into it a little bit further. I'm like, maybe not. Maybe this is not who I take the flyer on.
Yeah.
But that's what physicals are for. Well, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't sign him if he doesn't pass the physical, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, they could. It look for me. So it's funny, and I know that's a trivial answer. I know people go from coast, play on the West Coast, and then they get traded to the East Coast, and they do that. But that was one of the reasons why I was kind of like, you spend all your time over there, and then you're going to come over and play on that, and that has some effect on it. But at the end of the day, I would love to have. I mean, who else? I mean, we don't have that. We don't have an edge, and if we're not going to be in the Myles Garrett conversation, then absolutely let's go after this guy. But I would like to see what they have the physical and how everything's going with the injury and everything like that. But I mean, I think he'd be somebody that'd be worth it to bring in. I mean, a game changer on the defensive line. If we're not doing the Myles Garrett, going after the Myles Garrett, I think I would make that move. I would make it happen. And I like Bosa like that.
Yeah.
So is he as big of a trumper as his brother?
I was wondering the same thing. would
He's
that
quiet. I haven't heard anything
like that. Like, because I'm sorry. I respect him as a player. I expect his game as a player. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for all that shit. But we also got to be like, could he be a commander too? And that is a very interesting aspect that we need to actually look at. And if he's going to ruffle feathers like his brother, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think especially what we just did, I don't think our locker room would be for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a great point.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully the way things are now, especially with Bobby coming back, like maybe hopefully they kind of vet these guys themselves. We're talking about bringing this guy in. Let's talk to him ourselves, and we'll talk about Debo and all that a little bit later. But let's move on. Darius Slay, big play Slay. We've been on the opposite side of him for year after year. We've seen him and Terry do battle. And I'm going to be the first to say, yes, bring him in. Bring him in, all for it. I know it might cost something now. You would have Lattimore on one side and Slay on the other. Oh, man, I'm all for this. I absolutely love it. I love what he's been able to do. And the fact that him and Terry are such competitors, now they have them playing and kind of iron sharpening iron, practicing against each other each week. Yes. Bring him in. I'm for it. I love it. This is what I'm about. Will, what you think?
Maybe. I think he wants to get paid. In fact, he was on something like, I don't know, it might have been Twitch, Sean, that he was on. And he said something about, are you willing to come to the Commanders? And he's like, if the price is right. Now, I don't know what that means. I have my concerns. I have reservations about getting someone that Howie Roseman cuts. It's kind of like, we've been burned by Andy Reid before. If Andy Reid's getting rid of this guy, should you be going after him? If Howie Roseman's getting rid of this guy, is that who we need to be going after? But I wouldn't be upset if the contract is right. But I also am not completely penciling him in as a starting corner.
Yeah, that's the ab, man. Where you at on this?
So I again, like, especially getting like Philly's rejects, like I'm a little sus on that. I do like Darius Slay, but I thought he was like 30, like early 30s, but the dude is 34.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's 34.
Yeah.
That's kind of up there, you know what I mean? And to me, I didn't think he played all that bad last year. I didn't really focus on his game, but I don't think he played all that bad last year. And to me, like, we had Mike Davis, y'all. Like honestly, we could do worse. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Darius Slay, like I don't think he's any worse than Mike Davis. You know what I mean? So as long as we're not bringing in Mike Davis, like you know what I'm saying, Darius Slay seems like a step above, he has a lot of pride, and I don't think he would let us fall off like Mike Davis, like Mike Davis did. So to me, I'm a little sus because he's Philly, but at the same time, I respect this game, and I think at least if the price is right, one, and then if it's not a long contract, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's way better than Mike Davis. Much improved versus Mike Davis.
Yeah, and we did somehow start Mike Davis. Oh my goodness. Will, I'm coming to you on this one. Will the chance to play with JD5 bring in players on a discount? Ooh, what you think?
Ooh. At the beginning, had we not traded for Debo, I might have said yes because they could have spread some of that out. I'm not going to say not that it won't, but I think we lost some of our cap space in the ability to bring in somebody who would take less money to say, I'm going to go play with Jaden Daniels. But I am going to say yes. I'm going to say that there are some guys out there. Let's think about this, for example. I'm going to put my favorite guy out there. My favorite free agent wide receiver right now is Darius Slayton. And you tell me right now, Darius Slayton's lived his entire NFL career catching passes from Daniel Jones. If he's not going to willing to say, you know what, I'll take a little bit less to go to Washington and catch passes from JD5, hell yeah, I bet he would do that. And he may not be the only one. Maybe there still is a chance for Stephon Diggs. So yeah, I do think the ability to play with Jaden and be like, I know this is going to be a good quarterback. He can spread the ball around. We could. I think we could.
Yeah. I see it. What you think, Ab?
To me, it depends on the player. You know, Darius Slayton, I don't think there's a huge market for him as compared.
Zero market for him. Zero.
You wait and see, Sean.
I didn't want to just. But to me, he seems like a guy Adam Peters would have gone after last year. He's that type of guy, you know what I'm saying? Like someone that just needed the opportunity and he could probably show out, you know what I'm saying? Fowler as example, you know what I'm saying? And maybe he just needs a year with the opportunity, and then this boy balls out. And to me, he seems like that type of player. That's my argument for Slayton. And but it just, again, it depends on the player.
Yeah.
I don't think Stephon Diggs would be like, to me, in my opinion, I don't think Stephon Diggs is one of those players that are going to be like, Stephon Diggs seems like he's about his money. He always seemed about his money, and he seems like he's all about his playing time and ball and everything like that. He just seems like another guy that's not a commander. And but again, just depends on the player. I think a lot of guys, and it's not about JD5, it's about what our team has done too. I don't think it's only JD5. I think it's about how we played last year, where we've come along, like how we've come along. We seem like a totally new team. Like I think all of that is the aspect. And I think it will get us some guys. It will. Guys will choose to play for us. As far as discount, but they will choose to play for us.
Yeah, no, that's what I picked up on, is that I think it will bring guys in, and the culture, absolutely. But I mean, the JD5 is a nice selling point. Especially for guys on the offense. But I think it will bring guys in on the discount. I don't know how much, maybe some guys, maybe if we're looking at like a DeAndre Hopkins, who's towards the end of his career and he just wants, he might come in here for, under 10 mil or something like that. But I think what it will do is it's guys like Lattimore wanting to come and take a chance and trade over here with us, like Wagner making this move and signing with us today for another year, saying, all right, I got, I'm towards the end, but I could go anywhere in the league. I mean, a lot of teams will take him. He had over 100 tackles last year. And he's saying, I believe we got a shot to do this next year. So I'm taking my chance on my last year here. I think they'll definitely come on a discount. We'll see, but I do believe they would work it out. I do believe they would try to do what they could to play with it, to play with the team, because we're on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
We are on the rise. And hey, speaking right into that, are we happy with Bobby Wagner signing a 1-year deal in Washington? I say absolutely, man. I am all for this. I was concerned on how we were going to get this deal. I thought we could get it done. I thought the momentum from the season and how, he just seemed so happy in house. I was wondering what they were going to do, because I wasn't expecting anything long term, obviously. So the fact that I'm seeing this, getting him in here another year, I mean, even one more day of him in here, he is more than just a great player on the field, but he's a great guy in-house, and he's able to work with a lot of those guys. So my whole goal now is bringing in younger guys to learn under this guy. Take the nuggets he has while he's still here. But I love this move, and it just shows, Adam Peters, those guys, we need to nail this down early, knock it out, no question, move on. Will, what you think?
Yeah, I love it too. I think we also what he provided last year, and from a leadership perspective, and I think we're gonna have that and need that continuing moving forward. And I think it's only helpful for, they really liked Jordan McGee last year, for him to learn under him, whether McGee still is a middle linebacker or if they're able to bring in somebody to kind of groom. I'm not too sure, but I just think from he played better than we thought he would, so that certainly helped. And then the fact that for the leadership that he had, he made a bigger impact than I thought. And I actually kind of thought we were going to get like the drop off player, this is your last ride. This is your Thomas Davis year where he really shouldn't have been on the field. And he proved the complete opposite last year. So I'm excited to have him back for one more season. I like that it's a 1-year deal again.
Oh yeah. My man, what you think?
I appreciate it. I love Bobby Wagner. You know what I'm saying? 1-year deal, safe, definitely safe. He is one of the older people on our team. So I'm all for it. Like, I have no issues, no qualms about this at all. He played at a high level last year and definitely appreciate it. A little like in coverage, didn't really care too much for him in coverage, but his leadership, other than that, and he's the number 1 tackler on our team, I believe. So I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, then this opens up this question really quick before we go. Would you trade for Trey Hendrickson? Ab, you mentioned you had something to say about this earlier. What do you feel about this?
I don't know. It's like a 2-part question. It's is it because there's conversation about Myles Garrett also, So would you trade for a Hendrickson or Myles Garrett? Like, saying, I know I threw that that okie doke in there for you guys, but my apologies. But it's just
good. Yeah.
It's a 2-part question right there. Honestly, guys, especially the Bengals, I don't think they know how to run their team. So I think they're going to try to overcharge people more than Cleveland Browns will. So Trey Hendrickson, you already saw Myles Garrett was asking, like, their asking price is like 2 number 1s. That's starting, you know what I'm saying? like Trey Hendrickson, people are going to be the Bengals going to want more than that, and I'm not for that. Again, I'm a fan of my draft picks, especially under Adam Peters. This dude does magic with the draft. So to me, I'm not trading for them. Love the production, love it, but I just can't see it. Especially we haven't even gotten through the other teams I'm sorry, the cap casualties.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten through that yet, and I'm just waiting for that. And I can't see us trading for them now. Ask me again in April.
Yeah, this is one thing I think is going to be dragged out. But like you said, I echo your sentiments about his production. I mean, what did you say, Will? Like 17 sacks each of the last 2 years or something like that. Like the guy is outstanding and one of the most underrated defenses in the league. But this defense was in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. So he's legit, well worth it, but what is it going to cost to bring him in? It's I don't know. I'm a pass on this. I like the guy and I would like to bring him in, but I'm a pass. Will, what you think?
Absolutely. I'm giving up my first round pick for him. I think he would be better than any first round defensive end bringing in. He's shown a lot of durability in his career. The last 6 seasons, he's missed at most 3 games in a season. And so that's, he can play all 3 downs, and I'm definitely, I would be very interested in him. And I wonder if the fact that his contract is up after this season, so you're getting a 1-year rental for right now, would lower his asking price versus a Myles Garrett, where he's 32. He's 30 right now. So I think he's probably a little bit older than Garrett. So that I would just wonder if the asking price would be a little bit less, but more about just production wise. Heck yeah. You want to talk about fixing the edge? There it is. This guy's going to strike fear in left tackles and quarterbacks with him on coming around the edge. So I'm for it.
I like it.
To me, age is an issue also. 30s is like you expect, especially defensive line, offensive line. They're having contact every play. And honestly, it's like at the age of 30, like you're going to deteriorate a little bit. And his cap hit is $19 million this year. And so off the bat, again, that's so unless we are going to re-sign him, I could not see it. When you give up a first, next year's first, you're gonna want a few years with with that player. Not just like, unless you're going all in. If this was like an all in year, like what the LA Rams when they got Sam Stafford. I'm sorry,
Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Then this isn't a conversation. If we're going all in, I'm all for it too. You know what I'm saying? But if we're trying to build something and have stuff for years to come, I just can't see. I can't see it, especially for a 30-year-old defensive lineman.
Yeah, right. I think that. Go ahead.
I just said valid. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I think you bring up a bigger question that we'll definitely discuss in a later date. And what is this year? I've asked Will this, going at it last year, coming into this year. Is it Super Bowl or bust? Are we all in? I think we all are in agreement that we want the long-term dynasty as opposed to one or two good years in there and then going back to that. So I'm all about building. But first thing I thought when I saw this 1-year deal was he's giving us one more shot at it and to make magic. And it's at one point you're like, how are you thinking about this? But then you're like, we were in the NFC Championship. Like, we were one step away from it with that team. And we've already proven we're building. So I think that question then does become, is it, are we building for, are we building for the future, but saying, hey, we're coming this year?
Right. Essentially saying, when are we Super Bowl or bust is what you're asking. Yeah.
So definitely we'll have them. Look, we are going to take a quick breather, and then we are going to come back with another segment, back or gone. We're looking at our guys. Who are we going to re-sign? Who are we going to let go? Shout out to my guy, Anton Benton. Awesome artist. Check him out. Yeah, buddy, that is my guy, Anton Benton. Definitely check him out. Awesome artisans, awesome _artisans on Instagram. Definitely check him out. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. He's from the Virginia Beach area, but he definitely travels up and down the coast and through the Midwest. So definitely hit him up. All right. I'm sending it over to my guy. Looks like Ab had to check out. We'll see. He must have technical difficulties. I'm sending it to my guy. We got to talk about Washington, some of the players on the squad. Are we keeping them? Are we letting them go? And I think he's back. My man. Here we go. Back in time. There he is. Perfect timing. So you know what it is. You're good. It's your boy Sean Spencer, my guy Will Kramer, and our guy Ab Low. Will, sending it over to you. What's going on, man?
All right, so I'm going to give credit to Ben Standig on this. I was listening to his podcast, and he did something very, very similar. And essentially what it was is naming the Commanders' free agents to be, and we're going to share if you would be re-signing them or if you think they're going to re-sign him, whichever way you want to go. So the very first one, Sean, I'm going to start off with you here.
Okay.
Derek Forrest.
Yeah, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back. I'm telling you, listen, I understand he's not the best player out there, but he's one of these guys that's been persistent each year, in and out. He still stays on the team, gives his best shot, does what he can when he can get in there, be it special teams or be it, over at safety or everything like that. Bring him back, baby. Let's go.
Ab, what do you think about that?
Honestly, he doesn't move the needle for me. I'm not going to care if he comes back or not. You know what I'm saying? If the price is right, honestly, I think that's going to be a lot of my answers is if the price is right. He's a good player. Especially he's one of our guys. So honestly, for that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, bring him back, but if the price is right.
Yeah. I kind of wonder why he would want to come back here. The fact that he was inactive for a whole bunch of games and he was ticked off during the season when he was inactive.
His dad was too.
And he was too. And you go from being a starter to safety number inactive. I can't see him enjoying us anymore. Yeah. Well, all right, Ab. Here's the next one here. Tressway. Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. And another team has to want him also. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to want him and want to play him also. So it's going to be hard for him to find another team that's going to be like, okay, you were inactive all last year. Come be our starter.
Right.
Right. You know, it's like, so I like he might have no other choice but to come here.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Tress Way, you bringing him back?
Oh man. Nostalgia, like, you know what I mean? Nostalgia, like that makes me want to say it, but then at the same time, he is what, 35, 36? I'm gonna
34.
say, okay. I'm gonna say pass. I'm gonna say pass. We want something new. We want some, like, honestly, I need to see some 50-yarders, guys. Like I need those 50-yarders constantly inside the 20. And honestly, we've had this conversation before, guys. Too many times they brought players in, and honestly, we were giving them a pass because we're like, oh, he's a left leg kicker, so that's why they're bringing in all these punters. I'm sorry, he's a left leg punter, and that's why that's why they keep bringing in these punters for practices. But there has to be something on why, like there's something they're not telling us. And I think they know it. They're just like, we respect you. You're a leader of our team. We're not going to blow your spot out. But that's why we're bringing these, and we're just gonna be secretive on why it is. We need a new punter, guys.
All right, Ab. You're going to have to. I mean, Sean, sorry. Sean, now up to you. This is why I don't play point guard. You get to dispute that.
Listen. The reason he didn't punt this year is because they were honoring him for all of his years of service. So they said, we're going to go for it on fourth down, and you could rest this year, because they knew he was the MVP in the dark ages of the Washington Commanders. I don't say that stuff about my man Tress Way. Okay, he can punt here until he's 78, and I'll be all right. Okay, his leg. Tress Way will be punting in DC. Tress Way's coming back. I will pay his salary my damn self. Let's go.
I think I have to agree with Sean here.
Leave his number to JD5. That's
Yep.
Keep him here long enough.
Yep. I think I might have to agree with that. But I actually I agree, Ab, that it was very weird during this year how many times they brought in a right-footed punter for practice. Like, if they got annoyed with the fact that they had to keep doing that, for their own team to be getting some practice. But I thought I saw something statistically. He still was ranked like within the top 5 when it comes to, I don't know if it was, yards per punt or something, that he didn't seem to have the same statistical season that we were used to, but that he was still effective. But there's one aspect besides the locker room leadership that he brings that I think is going to bring him back for at least another year. And he is a darn good holder. And how many times did he grab that ball, some bad snaps in his career, where he has saved us to get a kickoff? And do you re-sign a punter because he's a good holder? No, his job is to punt the ball, but I'm not ready to give up on Tress yet.
In Tress we trust.
That's right. And I'm still trying to find on the internet. I'm trying to find a Tress 5 Commanders jersey so I can wear that on discount. So from the front, people are going to think it's JD5, but instead I paid $20 in the back.
This way, Tress Way. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to come to you on this one. I'm trying to skip around and not make them too simple. All right, let's think about this one. Jeremy Chin.
Absolutely, bring him back. Multi years too. Like, that's no brainer right there. That is one that I think we need to bring back. He played at a high level, and honestly, he played cheap too. You get what I'm saying? So honestly, like that right there, like we asked him to prove it. He did that and beyond. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's like he's the type of player that we build around. You get what I'm saying? So honestly, I wouldn't say max out the safety position on his ass, but at the same time, if we can get him like a respectable deal, you know what I'm saying? Bring his ass back 3 years, that type of shit, and build the defense around him. Get him some cornerback help. You know what I mean? I'm all for it.
What do you think, Sean?
No, I piggyback on that. I mean, he showed the improvement throughout the year. It looked kind of iffy in those first couple games, but he definitely came to play later in the season and proved to be just a impact player. So yeah, I'm right 100% with you, Ab. Bring him back a couple years. Let's lock that position up, and move on. I love that. Bring him back.
Yeah, he seemed to get better as the season went on, and towards the end of the season, he really started making some impact. So, and the fact that he's young, he was drafted the same year as Chase Young, and finished second in Rookie of the Year voting with Chase Young. I had no idea he was that young. So I certainly think he is a prime person for them to extend in a multi-year deal, like you said. The only thing I'm going to say what I'm curious about is the fact that there's a dude out there that played in San Francisco by the name of Hufanga that Adam Peters may know pretty well. But I'm with you. I see Jeremy Chin coming back, and I see them giving him a good contract. All right, Sean. Diami.
God, get him out of here. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, this man has caused me so much pain, so many headaches trying to defend this guy. Look, at the beginning of this year, we all said, let's give him a chance. Maybe he can get in here. He's got a good quarterback now. He had certain moments where he looked better. The playoffs, he looked good for when he played, but I just think his time is done here. I think he can go somewhere else and hopefully he can have success, but it just not too much success. He broke my heart too many times. This is a little personal for me. Him being a North Carolina guy, I advocated for us to get him in-house. We got him, and it didn't work out for me. So yeah, happy trails, my friend.
What do you think, Ab?
Oh, he's gonna come back. It's like I'm playing. So it's like I'm playing. Nah, man. I've been his biggest hater. I really have. And every time he dropped the ball, all I ever wanted to say, see. That's all I ever wanted to say. Every time he dropped the ball, it was like, see, that shit. Shit. And honestly, he proved me right too many damn times for me to sit here and say bring him back. You know what I mean? Even as like a number 4 wide receiver. Like I'm even like, to me, in cases I think we can bring him back and he's number 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in case we need somebody back up, like why not? But honestly, I do just I can't even see him being on the team anymore, for real. I think there are better number 4s. I think we can do better for a number 4 wide receiver out there. So I just can't see him coming back, guys.
Yeah, I think playoff Diami has kind of like clouded people's visions of, like you said, what was the last 4 years of Diami. One thing he does bring to the table of the guys, of the wide receivers, though, is he is the fastest of all of them, and he is the best deep threat, which we are missing right now, some of those deep plays. But I don't think he's coming back. I think he's going to get more money. He's going to want more money than what they're willing to offer him. I think he's trying to get paid. Go for it. He should try. This is his chance. I think someone will pay him, and I think someone will give him a chance to be a wide receiver 3, maybe, which I don't think he deserves. And I don't think he'll be here. So, yeah, I think it's time we say goodbye to him. All right. Ab. John Bates.
That's hard. Great blocker. What's the going rate for a great blocking tight end though? Like, you know what I mean? With no production, like like how do you pay a player like that? You know what I mean? Like he's great depth, guys. Like honestly, it's like, again, depends on the price. Depends on the price. I you know what I mean? Like he's coming back. He's coming back, and it just depends on the price. You know what I mean? He's a great blocker, but it's very hard to gauge a blocking tight end with no production. So I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? What kind of contract do you give him? $5 million a year? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, guys, depends on the price.
Yep. Yep. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not giving this guy a double-digit number. You know what I mean? I'm not giving him 10 mil. I'm not doing anything like that. But one thing I do think that we should probably do is make him into maybe an H-back more, you know, where he's tight end and maybe fullback. You know, maybe bring him in the backfield. He's an excellent blocker, like you said, Ab, but there's no production whatsoever. Maybe we can, you know, bring him back in the backfield so then we can slip him out in the flat. Because I love his toughness. I love his, you know, kind of tenacity, what he's been bringing. But, yeah, he's not providing anything else. And that matter of fact, that's why we got Sennett. Because Sennett was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to help go over the top. But, you know, that hasn't come to fruition. So, you know, bring him back. Absolutely. Love his toughness. And, you know, reminds me of the Hogs and the Don Warren and Clint Didier and all those guys, Rick Doc Walker. But we got to do something to, like Ab said, make it financially viable. Like he can't just be a blocking tight end and you pay for it. Like, let's move him back and have him kind of be more, you know, be that guy on punt return that maybe does some fake stuff, or, you know, even Sennett caught the fake punt in the playoff. So, you know, Bates, you got to do something more, man. That, you know, but bring him back for sure.
I think this is going to be interesting to see what they value, because we don't know what we have in Ben Sennett with his lack of production this year. And was that because he couldn't get past someone like Bates and he couldn't get past in the passing game someone like Zach Ertz? So we really don't know. But like you said, how do you pay a blocking tight end? And you know what? Honestly, the way I look at him is he was a darn successful draft pick. Picked in the 4th or 5th round, became a very serviceable NFL player. That's exactly what you want from a 4th or 5th round pick. And I say, let's look to get another blocking tight end with our 6th round, 7th round pick and replace that spot, that type of player later with much cheaper, and let him go elsewhere. All right. Sean, Marcus Mariota.
Look, now, if you would have asked me this in the beginning of the season, if you would have asked me this anytime probably before the Panthers game, I would have said, get rid of the guy. Why is he here? The Panthers game when he had to go in because JD5 was out. The Panthers were terrible. Okay, so that it wasn't like he was going up against the Chiefs or anything, but still, he came in and he did what he needed to do, and we looked really good. And years past, I don't think a backup comes in and is able to do that type of stuff, even on a team like the Panthers. But he was able to do that. That was huge to me. And then his impact was truly felt, and I think we all know that moment. The Atlanta Falcons game-winning drive. JD gets hit in the ribs, kind of down. Marcus comes over to him and says, "This is what you're built for. Get in there and win the game," type deal. The on the field, being able to come in there and play if we need him is huge. And the drop off we know is there, but still he knows what he's doing. It almost gives you that Jacoby Brissett feel. But then also the character and the being able to, I've seen what's going on in this league. I know how to handle situations. I know what to say in those moments. Having that in-house is huge. So I'm not trying to pay, an arm and leg for the guy, but if we can get him on a nice team-friendly deal, I say bring him back in-house.
All right, what you think?
A good deal, I would say 2 years. Like, give him an extension. You know what I'm saying? 2 years, $16 to $20 million deal. That's good. That's good. We gotta be honest, guys. Mariota has been the best backup quarterback we've had since Sam Howell. So.
Sorry, man. Sorry, bro. Sorry. When he comes back and beats us, I'm just going to sit back. and say, I tried to tell y'all to keep my man safe. But you know what? It's okay. Y'all got to learn the hard way. It's all good. We could have been doing all this year with Sam. But it's all good.
I'm expecting Sean to pull like the Will Smith. Keep my quarterback's name out of your mouth.
Exactly. Talk about
Excuse me.
My quarterback.
Oh man,
my quarterback.
He's been the best backup quarterback since Sam Howell. So
come on.
Honestly,
that's high praise. That's high praise. All
right. Bring him back.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I echo what Sean said at the beginning of the season. I was not a fan of this guy. He played really well. The scheme seems to fit what he does, and his leadership and camaraderie with Jaden, I think, is certainly helps. And so I'm good with bringing him back. All right, Ab, did I go to you? Yeah. So Ab, this is yours. Dante Fowler Jr. Are you re-signing him?
Sack leader of our team. We are not re-signing him. Fowler has underachieved his whole career, and he needed an opportunity, and he got one with Dallas, and then he came over here with Dan Quinn. And honestly, like, he was there was high expectations of him since he was drafted, but this is his only year he's actually really produced. And to me is he's going to want to go somewhere else also, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, he's only, like, if I'm correct, he only played in 57% of the snap counts. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think we're going to want somebody that's going to be on the field a little bit more than that. And sack specialist, cool. Like, honestly, props to him. But I don't think we're going to pay him what he thinks he should be paid for having all those sacks. I think, and that's fine. Just like you said about Diami, this is going to be his first time to actually flex and be like, I deserve more than that and be overpaid like for other teams. Like this is like his career best and good for him, but it just won't be for us.
Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, no. So yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna want the bag. He's gonna want some money because of this production. But I do go back to the question that we had in the buzzer beater segment where you said, will JD5, kind of encourage, people to come in and, maybe for a discount. I think I don't know if we would do it. I don't foresee us doing, getting him back on a discount or anything like that. I do think that he would at least entertain the conversation because of his connection to Quinn. But this is kind of somewhere where I thought like the Wagner deal. Let's give him a 1 year, one off. Give him a set amount. If you want to, earn the long term or something later, you gotta do it again. Do this another year. We've been burned too many times where you pay somebody and then they fall flat on their face and they don't do anything. So, it's, I agree with Ab that I've always wanted him. You guys know every time we talk about this stuff, I've always said bring him in for cheap, but just because he was just the guy to have in. I never expected him to ball out and do what he did this year. So he far exceeded my expectations this year, but will he do that again? Is this the guy? Is this who he is from here on out? Or will it depend on, all of the rest of the stuff? And so that's where I'm kind of like, I'm not willing to pay him for that just yet. But I mean, if he can't get anything elsewhere, he wants to stay here for team friendly, let's work it out. But, I'm happy for him. Move on. But I think like Ab said, like, I think he kind of might overvalue how good he is off this 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, it seems insane to say, hey, thank you for the 10.5 sacks. Good luck signing elsewhere. Good luck with your next team. And so I think he's going to hit free agency and get that opportunity to negotiate. It'll be curious to see, is someone willing to give him a multi-year deal because of that, or is that not coming to fruition? And then he's able to say, hey, Dan, I'm gonna come back and go play where I know him well. Jared, just talking about a Dallas guy. Good timing. All righty. Let's see. Sean. Zach Ertz. Are you bringing him back?
I say yes. And my main reason for saying yes right now is what we talked about before. I'm looking at Bates, and I'm looking at Sennett, and I'm looking at your boy Yankoff. And I'm saying, what? We don't have one full tight end and the three of them. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they all do one or two things on their own, but they don't do it all. Ertz, he's the leader. He's he's a third down, safety cushion. He's great rapport with JD5. I think you got to bring him back. I think another 1 year type deal. We know his age. He's not going to be playing that much longer. You bring him back on 1 year spot and just keep that chemistry, keep that camaraderie with Jaden just another year and help to get Debo kind of acclimated to what they got going on.
I like it. Ab, what do you think?
I think he comes back. Do I think he should? No. To me today, Evan Ingram's just popped up, and he's about 5 years younger than Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? Right there, that is a multi-year signing right there. If we really are hard up for a tight end, you get what I'm saying? So, and I think there'll be more, guys. I really do. And Ertz is just older. Like, do I respect the camaraderie, the repertoire that they share together? Like, I love it. I love it all. And I respect and I love what he's done for our team last year. And like, he second leading receiver pretty much. So honestly, I love that.
But at the same time, this is not about feelings. It's not about what you did before. At the end of the day, this is a business. You know what I mean? Can we find better? And I think that's what we should be doing is asking, can we find better?
Right.
And can we find, and to me, if we're looking at free agency, we just saw Zach, unless there's unless there's character issues with Evan Ingram, I think that's where we should be looking towards to for that. He's younger, and like you know what I'm saying, he's 30 years old. So why not sign him and have him grow with JD5? He probably honestly, Evan Ingram's already showed you give him the right quarterback, he's gonna ball the hell out.
Gotcha. For me, Zach Ertz is a no-brainer to come back because I think he's going to be inexpensive, relatively inexpensive to be your starting tight end. I don't think there's many places that are really going to sign him. Plus, also, I think he's looking at where can I fit in really well. And while he won't be our second leading receiver next season, he was this year, and he was that comfort safety valve for Jaden. And I see him being that. I feel like he's going to have less catches next year, but more impactful third down touchdown catches as that type of resource for him. So I certainly think we do, but I also think we look at this tight end class to see there's a lot of talent here. Are we able to draft his replacement at some point? Because there's a lot of good talent in this draft. Exactly like Jared's saying.
Arroyo, Royo Payton Jr.
But the other part is Ertz is a blocker too. He's not just the pass catcher out there. He actually could play and stay in as blockers. And so they're like, some of these guys are showing out as receivers, but there's more to the position.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're just going to do a few more of these and we'll call it a day. This one should be pretty quick. Sean.
Yep.
Cornelius Lucas.
Let's see, 33.
He's more than that. He's like 36.
Is he 36?
I thought I was going to say 39. So we got to check his age, y'all. We really got to check his age. I was going to say 39.
He's 33 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
this July he will be turning 34.
Okay.
My bad. Listen, he's turning into our next Morgan Moses. Like the guy, he's here. He's consistent. We can bring him in. We can depend on him. From the business side of things, like Ab was saying, maybe. I mean, you see what you can do in the draft. You see what you can do in free agency. For bringing back our guy, Mr. Moral Support, I say keep him another year. I mean, we're turning into the over the hill gang with some of these older guys, but guys like this. I mean, we're talking about the core, the foundation of the team. Cornelius Lucas, wasn't he our? No, Terry was our Walter Payton Man of the Year, but I think Lucas was it last year.
It was Leno.
Leno, that it was. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, but Lucas, yeah, definitely. I want, for sentimental reasons, I want to keep the guy, but I think we should. I think he's good. It's a benefit to have him on the line. I want my lineman. You know how I feel, guys.
Yeah. All right, Ab, are you bringing him back?
33 years old is not old for a lineman, surprisingly. But he knows our system. He's been here a few years. Yeah, bring him back. If not, I don't care either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just saying, until you can get someone better than him as a swing tackle, I think you got to bring him in. It's not ideal to be bringing in a 33, 34-year-old as your next in line tackle when someone goes down, but he's shown that he can play both sides and keep it going if you need to. So I'd like to get someone better than him, but until you find it, bring him back. All right, two more. Ab Olamide Zaccheaus.
I'm going to say no because the same thing with Diami. I think we can find better. Simply, we can find better.
Valid. Sean.
I would agree. I agree with you. I mean, I think we can find better. I loved what he did for us, but some of those punt return fumbles and some of those drops just during the middle of the year had me fired up about him. So I know this is your guy, Will, but I don't have anything connecting to him, and he can roll out for me. I'm good.
I'm going to bring him back, but I'm also going to let him know you're fighting to get on the field. I'm not bringing you back to be a wide receiver 3. I know the coaches love him. Cliff loves him because he can play multiple positions and all that stuff. But he is a little bit on the smaller side. But I'm like, he's probably gonna be cheap. And so if he's my cheap 4 wide receiver 5, sure, why not? All right, last one. The name that's so hard to pronounce. Are we going to have to say the word Igbenogany for a second season? Sean, this is yours.
Yes, absolutely. Even before we knew his name, we knew number 1 was on the field. We didn't even know he got this guy, but number 1 is balled out. And like we said earlier in the year, Noah Igbenogany is the epitome of these picks by Adam Peters and Dan Quinn and these guys. It's somebody it's a tough guy that plays great ball. He's always around the ball. He's doing great things, but he might not be, number 1 publicized guy but he's a team player. He does his job. I absolutely love him. I love learning his name throughout this year and being able to be in conversation and be like, oh, you mean Noah Igbenogany? Oh yeah, I know that guy. I like that guy. But yeah, no, way he's played. I mean, when we've had the likes of a Benjamin St. Juice and a Michael Davis on that in our secondary, he has been a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you. So bring him back, all the way back.
I like it. What about you, Ab?
I like him. I do. Honestly, bring him back to me. For me, I love it. And to me, but at the same time, I think we all need to realize when we are talking about these 1-year guys, and how do I say this? The power's in their hands for all these 1-year guys. And so if we're like, we want you back, the price is going to be significant. Not significant, but it will be more. You know what I'm saying? I.e., Wagner's contract was more than what his last year's contract was also. Even though it's just here, even though it's like a matter of like a single-digit millions, it's still more. You know what I'm saying? Right. So these 1-year contracts are hard. We signed them last year. We're going to have to sign these guys to multi-year contracts. So that's a big question in itself. But Noah, I'm definitely all about signing him.
Yeah. I mean, if he's willing to come back, I'd certainly take him. The time he signed last year, we hadn't drafted Sanders still, so he didn't know that he was going to be drafted over. So you kind of wonder, is he going to come back here knowing that he may be sitting on the bench even more? But if he's willing to come back, by all means, I'd bring him back because he was a quality corner that stepped up, and when we had injuries, he played really well. All right, good deal. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was back or gone with our guy Will Kramer. And look, we're going to move on down the list, and we got to shout out one of our other guys, Alex Stevens, who always talks about the big splash. Hey, and we're going to go ahead and ask that question in lieu of recent events, us trading for Deebo Samuels. What is your one big splash, if you can make it, what would you do, or have we already made it? Will, come to you. What you got?
Yeah, so I'm struggling with this one. I really like Nick Bolton, but we just signed Bobby Wagner, so that's kind of redundant there. I had my eyes on DeMarcus Lawrence teaming back up with Dan Quinn, but then I saw his last couple seasons, and they're not that interesting. They're not as high as they once were. So I wonder if Debo is our splash. Ab, you bring up a great point about the fact that we have to re-sign these one-year guys that they're gonna sign for more now. Jeremy Chin's not signing back for another $5 million a year. He's gonna want double that, most likely. The other part about it is we have to sign a whole lot of players. We only have like 30 guys on our roster. We need 90 when we get to training camp. We need 90 this spring. We need 53 that we want to put on the field. So we need another, almost half of what, we have to double what we have almost already. That's a lot of players we got to sign. And so I don't know if we're going to be able to do any more splashes. If I have to pick one, I've said it earlier, the only person that I've seen among all these free agents and trade opportunities that I think are realistic, it would be if now that Hendrickson has requested the trade, I'd go after him because I think he might cost a little bit less. But if you do that, I don't know how else you're going to fix the team though. If you get Hendrickson for 18, 20 million a year, I don't know how you finagle the cap stuff there. So that would be my best splash. This improves the team, but I don't know how you handle it with the cap.
Right. What you think, man?
I'm with Will. This is very hard, like especially right now. Like honestly, these are one of these questions like you answer now, but then you revisit it after, like what I'm saying, revisit it like later. And to me, our situation, I don't even think we're able to have a big splash, to tell you the truth. Debo Samuels might be the big splash that we can have. And the next big one, I think, is signing one of the signing one of the top cornerbacks in free agency. I think that is probably the next big splash. Next and only big splash. I think we're out of the Myles Garrett. I think we're out of the Trey Hendrickson. I think we're all out of that. But signing another cornerback, like big deal cornerback, and going that route, and then hopefully maybe signing one of those young defensive ends at the end of the first, early second. I think that might be the route we go to fix our team, because like Will said, he said that we need 53, we need 51 cap, like to fill up our cap space. You know what I'm saying? The top 51 players are the ones that is against the cap. And Will said it. We have 30, 40 of them. You know what I'm saying? So we don't even that's why our number looks so damn good. It's because we don't even have the required amount. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Right. So that right there, and then once and everybody's talking about T. Higgins, no, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. We need to fill our team up. And honestly, we're not able to, and especially with the cap amount we have, it compared to everybody else, it's big. But if you think about how many players we have actually signed, it's not
right.
And so, big splash. What DJ Reed, is that his name? DJ Reed from the Jets.
Yeah, corner.
Yeah, cornerback. I think that's our big splash if we do make one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we asked this question, the timing by a couple days too late. Because if we asked this question before, and who knows, we didn't know about the Bosa thing. I'm sitting here going to a guy that I love from way back. I loved watching him in college at Buffalo, Khalil Mack. Now he would be an arm and a leg. We're talking upwards to 20+ million out there. But then now we got Debo, and it's like, well, there it is. I mean, that would have been something I would not have expected us to be able to do, to pick up a Debo. But again, it goes to how people are now wanting to be here, and I love it. And I think you're absolutely right, Ab. Like that is the splash. That is the move. We might make one more, something on along the sides to, pick up something here and there. But I honestly think what we've done, and if last year was any indication of how these guys do it, they make a move or two that might be considered a splash, and then everything else is under the radar. Everything else is just filling spots and doing stuff that's fiscally responsible. And that's how it is. I'm good. And from here on out, we can't play with that money. I mean, what you guys are saying is spot on. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the wetness from the splash that we just got from Debo. And I'm good to go. Splash, splash, baby.
Sean, I'll add to what you just said. I honestly think that's what you like. You said last year, if last year was any indication, I think this offseason is going to be very, very similar to last offseason. I think that's how it's going to go. A whole bunch of 1-year contracts. And I don't think there's going to be any flexibility, like especially if we keep signing these guys for their $18 million, $20 million towards the cap. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if we brought in a guy and then we signed them, and then that lowers their cap hit for this year. But that just doesn't seem like that's Adam Peters' way. You get what I'm saying? Right. He seems like he wants you to prove your shit, and then we'll re-sign you. We'll revisit this next year.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, and also part of the reason we have to keep giving these 1-year deals is because Ron's regime drafted so poorly. We don't have a lot of guys on young contracts that we can be counting on. We have none of the first round picks of Ron's time. We have 2 of his second round picks, which is Quan and Cosme. Do we have a single third round pick?
Terry. No, or that was before Ron?
It was before Ron.
Oh, my bad.
Brian Robinson is the only third round pick that I can think of that's making an impact. And we're about to let Diami, but we're about to let him go. But, I heard this listening to a pod, and they were like, they're having to sign 1-year deals because there aren't these cheaper contracts of guys that can be like, it's now your turn to be a starter. You've stepped up and progressed. And so it's just they're trying to, the cupboard's bare, and they're trying to fill it as best they can.
Absolutely. Look, let's continue along with that real quick. We're in free agency. Let's, before we get to the draft, let's ask that question. What position gets filled in free agency? Adam, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think we do now with everything being said, with the moves that have been made? What do you think we address, and what, gets filled up in free agency?
I'll say offensive line, only because there was a news article saying that that Adam Peters seems somewhat satisfied with the offensive line. He doesn't see what we see in the offensive line. My opinion, I think, and to me, that means he doesn't see much needs to be done in order to rectify, fix, make better this offensive line. I honestly think JD5 made that offensive line look all-star. And I honestly, and then especially you add the injury to Cosme, that needs to be fixed or addressed right away.
Mhm.
You at least, I think you sign at least 2 more offensive linemen in free agency. But again, for your question, I think offensive line is what gets filled in free agency.
Yeah, no, I feel that's music to my ears. Will, what you think?
That's a good answer, Ab. And I hope that's the case. I hope we sign someone to fill that Cosme role beginning of the season. I'm going to say that there's a good chance that we solidify wide receiver through free agency by bringing in a bunch of guys. I still think that we could use the draft to bring in somebody, but more I'm hearing of this draft not being so glamorous with wide receivers that yes, we probably could bring in someone, even if it's a second round, third round. Well, second round pick would be high, a third round pick, or if we trade back later, that we'll bring in another wide receiver. But I think we're going to bring in enough bodies essentially at the wide receiver position where we could bring in someone in the draft, but we don't have to. That they'll bring in enough guys who will take over. I mean, look at what we brought in last year, wide receiver. It was Terry and just a bunch of guys off the street, and they made it work.
Yeah.
And so I could see them going with a little bit more of that same type of mentality. Now that we've got Debo, you give Luke an opportunity to play a little bit more, that they may sign 2 or 3 more wide receivers over free agency for not a lot of money and say, this is what we got.
Mm-hmm. And I go along. I love both of those, but I kind of piggyback on that, and I say we go in free agency and we go real cheap and we go linebacker. I think us getting Bobby Wagner on this one deal. Now let's bring some people in to help him, to keep him fresh, to keep him flowing, and not worry about that. I was really concerned that maybe we were going to go look in the draft. Maybe we still will, for somebody that can come in and learn under him. But I think having him and Luvu there, we don't really need this, but we can get somebody in this to add depth. Somebody that was like a Kaliki Hudson that would just come in when we needed him and play his role. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to come in and usurp these guys, especially now that we got Bobby Wagner back in there. Luvu's on his, we had this great year. But maybe if you bring in another guy that can maybe roam on the sides or as outside, or maybe come and then do a little bit of extra there and then maybe do a little special teams, that might work out. So linebacker, I think we solidify that in this offseason and the free agency.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, buddy, man. So it look, at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see the moves that they make. And I think, Ab, you hit the nail on the head when you say a lot of stuff will be determined in these coming weeks. When we talk about who's getting franchise tagged, who else will get released, who's going to get, re-signed deals. I think I heard Watson just got his deal restructured.
Like that's like the 4th time.
Right. Yeah. They tried to get all that back. So this stuff is going to be continually going on. So a lot of the stuff that even we're saying now could be changed based on some of the moves and things that go and happen. Like I mentioned, like if we do this show 2-3 days ago, we might be talking, all these different guys as far as who we wanted to bring in, because we had no clue we were going to go get Debo. We had no clue. Even when they said,
right,
Washington was one of those major teams going after him, we didn't know that was actually going to happen. And now he's in-house. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Ab, what's up?
So let me just add this. I think Adam Peters is going to attack free agency like last year. Yes, that's how I think. But I also think that he will not do it the same exact way. You know how last year we were like, I can't wait till cap casualties or till they drop the teams down to their 53. We were all waiting for him to make a move, and like the only thing he did was like Noah Brown, and we were like, what? Yep. I honestly think he'll be more aggressive with that then. I think how we expected him to be last year, he's going to take advantage of it this year, especially because of how far we went last year. I think he's going to be more aggressive with that. So is he going to treat it like last year as far as the 1-year contracts filling up the team? Yes. But I also do think that he's going to attack the cap casualties, all these free agent, unrestricted free agents from the releases. I do think he'll take advantage of that. And that's just the only reason why I say that is because that's what I would do, especially off of the year we just had.
Right. He's probably scouring through the free agency list and the cuts list, like the one ads, okay, who do you got? Oh, look this guy, look that. And I like that. I like they're going through that with a fine-tooth comb to see who would fit, who has played. And this is another one of those things. I mean, like when we talked about Bosa being connected to us, you have Anthony Lynn, who's worked with Bosa, who coached Bosa, who has that connection. And that is a theme. That's another theme we've seen. We talked about Dante Fowler and him coming here. The fact that he had the kind of season he had was because of the comfort of being in that system with Quinn year after year. When you've been in that, training camp is a breeze because you know what you're dealing with. It's not me trying to get acclimated to what the coach is doing and the team and everything like that. I know what's going on here. And that's another reason why I love that we've got Debo when we got him. And what we've been doing the last 2 years, getting guys early so that they're in-house. They got plenty of time to learn throughout the offseason what we're looking for, what we're doing heading into the season. So they got their head on straight, and I love that, man. I love every minute of it, man. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to let you go. We need to take a minute and shout out our guy, Mr. School Man himself, back taking them classes, doing big things. Our dude, Mr. Ab Low. Appreciate you, buddy.
I appreciate guys. Thanks for having me. You guys are doing good, big shit. And I love it, man. I do love it. Keep it up.
We'll have to see how good our predictions are next week. I'll be curious to watch this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Listen, we are here. Still the off season. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be here with you sporadically. I believe we'll be here again next Thursday. Talking this talk. Definitely stay tuned for whatever we're talking because, hey, Washington's making moves. It's exciting to see. It feels so different this offseason now that we're coming off a victory season, a season we can be proud of. It's not like, oh, man, we need to make these moves so we can forget the nightmare of the season. It's like we're doing this to pad a great season. I'm excited.
Yep.
So, all right, people, we're heading out of here. For my guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. You see him under there. Shirtless Wonder, Ab Low. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. Appreciate you being here. Hey, and you know how we do. Left hand up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get him.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us. Think we're gonna lose? Well, I can't believe you doubt us. Had the whole crowd screaming out, "We want